All right, welcome in Week 12 recap. We got Noah on, one of the hottest team in the league right now. 7 wins in a row. We're gonna be looking up. There goes his camera. We're gonna be looking at some playoff. Only 2 weeks left, so we're gonna go through some playoff scenarios here and stuff. And you barely got the meat. Real quick before we get into the playoff scenarios, how are you feeling about your team? 7 straight wins, moved up to second place this week, and and we'll go over everything that happened. But you clinched a playoff spot this week. You're officially in 15-9, second place. A lot left up for grabs, but 7 straight wins. How you feeling?
Phenomenal. I feel like my team didn't even play that well, and I still put up 141. Only like one Nick Chubb was the only one that I felt like actually went off. Everyone else just did the average, and I put up 141. Now, with this week being, I believe, the highest median ever, I was sweating. Sweating.
Got the median by less than a point, even though you scored 141. But we'll get into the rest of your matchup after. But yeah, no, your team's looking scary right now. As far as playoffs go, in the standings and everything, we got 2 weeks left, which we're talking before. I'm trying to wrap my mind around the fact that we got 2 weeks left, but we got 4 matchups. So looking at some playoff scenarios. Actually, we just found out about 30 seconds ago that the Sleeper app actually tells you when people have clinched the playoffs. There's a little asterisk next to where they are in the standings. So Drew's in first place, 17-7. Drew has clinched a playoff spot. Hasn't clinched a first round bye yet, but he's in the playoffs. You moved up to second. You flip-flopped with Jake this week. You're in second place, currently holding the second bye. That's obviously not clinched yet, but you did clinch a playoff spot. Jake also 15-9 this after going 0-2 this week. He's 15-9. Currently out of the first round bye with the same record as you with less points, but Jake has clinched a playoff spot. Those are the only 3 teams that have clinched anything so far. Fourth, we got Dre in fourth at 13-11. Chris, with barely any points on the entire season, is in fifth at 12-12. Sam sitting in sixth place, which Sam has about like 250 more points than Chris, and he's in sixth place. He's 11-13, holding the last playoff spot right now. I moved up 2 spots to 7th place at 10-14. Kyle, the other hottest team in the league right behind you, moved from last place to 8th this week. He's 9-15. And then the other 2 9-15 teams at the bottom is Bart and Zach at 9-15 in 9th, and then Hilshi all the way down at last place. However, no one's been eliminated yet. So everybody's got a chance to make the playoffs. Hilshi?
Yeah, he's been eliminated.
Hilshi's not mathematically eliminated, but Hilshi can't make the playoffs. So that's where we stand with the playoffs right now. I did win my first weekly prize of the year. So whatever else happens here, I'm still not feeling great about making the playoffs, even though I'm in 7th now, but at least I got $30 back. That was my first weekly prize of the year. And real quick on the weekly prizes this year, Andre has 3, Drew 2, Jake 2, Sam 2, me and you both have 1, and Kyle has 1. And there's only 2 weeks left of weekly prizes. That'll only go through the regular season. So that's where we stand for the playoffs. Back into the matchups. So you, like we talked about, barely got the median, went 2-0 in the week, 141-95 over Jake in order to overtake him and get into second place. So, it was you talked about your team a little bit. It was a rough week for Jake. He lost Travis Etienne to injury with 0.3. And, got a goose egg from Tyler Higbee, and really bad week on a high scoring week. Jake scored 95 points.
Yeah, his team just doesn't look good. Trash all the way around. I don't know how he's made it as far as he has, especially now that Cooper Kupp is dead. He gave me the 3rd overall tight end for bench players. He is lucky that he clinched, because if he hasn't already clinched, I think he falls out of playoff contention, because his RB1 is Donta Foreman.
And I mean, he has had a lot of injuries this year. I mean, to talk about losing Cooper Kupp, was it Mixon that got hurt, and he lists them all. There's like 5 guys, and ETN just went down. He lost Breece Hall earlier in the season, who looked great. So he's had a lot of injuries for sure. A lot of guys that helped him get to this point, but he is in the playoffs, and once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. But I'm not betting on him right now. He's still fighting for for a first round bye, but that's going to be tough with the way some of the teams, with you tied with him, the way your team's looking, and even some of the teams behind him, it's going to be tough for Jacob. But for you, I mean, Devontae Adams, since you've gotten him in a trade, has made your wide receivers just as scary as your running backs. Still got that Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry combination, which 14 for Derrick Henry was like the worst game he could possibly have. He ran for that, what should have been an 80-yard touchdown on the screen until he decided to just throw the ball into the end zone and let Traylon Burks take the touchdown away from him. So that should have been even more points and almost cost you the median, but luckily for you, you got it. And also TJ Hawkins, Hawkinson's been very good since he's gone to Minnesota, getting a ton of targets and had 15 this week. So that is a well-rounded team.
Yeah, well, I mean, you make a team based off of the trades I've made, and getting Cooper for Chase Edmonds was huge. Hawkinson for Brandon Cooks, and
I shit on you for that trade too, and it was so one-sided for you. It wasn't even
no.
Edmonds became droppable after that trade.
He should have been dropped. I don't know if Hilsey still has him, but he shouldn't be on a roster. I've gotten lucky, and so far I feel like it's played out. Depth wise, I think I might have the best team in the league. Starters wise, I do think there's a couple that might have me beat, but I think I'm good.
He does not have Chase Edmonds on his team anymore, but I think he held him through last week, which was through him getting traded to Denver and becoming Denver's fourth string running back. So
a tough look. It really is.
Yes, it is. So like I mentioned, I got the weekly prize this week, and it was all I need to buy a Josh Jacobs jersey. That was one of the greatest fantasy performances of all time. 48 points for Jacobs. This was a roller coaster because I got off to such a tough start, not even any fault of my own, but Sam going out on Thanksgiving. Sam ruined my Thanksgiving because I was down 115 to 19 after the Thanksgiving games. He had only had 4 players play and had 115 or 5 players play, I think it was, and had 115 points. And I had a good game from Schultz, but I was like, Sam's going to score 160 and I'm not going to have it. I hadn't scored that all year. So he ruined my Thanksgiving. I paid it back to him by ruining his birthday by Josh Jacobs going out. He had 30 points, unbelievable game anyway. But even at that point, when this game went to overtime, Jacobs had 30. I was still, I had Hurts left at night and Sam was done. It looked like I was going to be down by about 40 to 45 points. And that's what I would have needed from Jalen Hurts. And I was like, you know what? All things considered, Jalen Hurts could technically maybe get 40 points. So at least I have some kind of chance. And then Jacobs ran in an 86-yard touchdown to win the game in overtime. And then I only needed 23 from Hurts, which he got in the first half, thanks to 157 rushing yards.
Yeah, unreal.
Yeah. So that was one of the more exciting fantasy games that I've been a part of.
Yeah, because you got carried.
Yeah. And it was all Jacobs. I mean, the rest of my lineup was solid for the most part. I mean, I played Rachaad White with 19. Schultz with 19 was the best tight end this week, and that was with Christian McCaffrey getting 8 points. So I'm feeling decent about my team right now. I mean, I've been in either 9th or 10th pretty much all year. So the fact that I'm in 7th place, 2 games out of the playoffs right now, I'm all things considered, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, you're looking in. Your team's phenomenal, and obviously with the way Jacobs has played since you traded for him, thank you, Dre. He is unreal. All you got to do is find a wide receiver 2 that's consistent and
that's been the worst.
Made of glass.
Yeah, that's been the toughest.
You'll be able to win.
I've had I haven't played the right guys. I've had Devontae Smith have like 4 or 5 huge games. I don't think I've played him in a single one of them. Josh Palmer had 30 on my bench last week. It's like I always have someone go off and I play the wrong one. So yeah, the second wide receiver spot's going to be huge for me, and we'll see if I get, Rachaad White was great, but it was, no Leonard Fournette. So let's see what happens there. But we'll see. So I moved to 7th.
Oh, Sam's team, best 6th overall team in the world.
The best. It's 11 unreal. And 13 lineup I've ever seen.
You look at his team on paper and you're like, this team should smoke every week out.
Yeah, the second most points this week.
With the addition of getting Mark Andrews, there's like nothing wrong with his team, like at all.
And
his
Andrews
team as starters He's phenomenal. Bench,
Yeah.
I mean, sucks, but you don't need a bench to win.
Drew has showed us that.
I know. Unreal.
Andrews dropped literally the most like wide open, hit him in the hands touchdown. He popped up in the air and dropped. I still think I would have won since Hurts ended up with 33 points, but that would have made it even closer. And Sam would have been in the 160s.
When I watched that live, I thought Andrews punched the ball away. It looked like he swatted the ball away, and I was like, "What was that?" But either way, Sam's team's back. Even though he hasn't gone 2-0 often anymore since my last weekly recap. I'm sorry, Sam.
I see what's happening. The curse of no ILO.
The team is back.
Count it. Sam's not winning a game the rest of the year, ending 11-17 now, and it won't make any sense. The curse of no ILO is back.
No,
he's going to be so mad that I had you on the recap.
His team is too good to fall out of playoffs right now. He's holding on at 6. He shouldn't even be. He should be with me at the top. It's unreal.
Oh my God. I ruined his birthday. I denied his dynasty trade, and then I brought Noah on the recap. So Sam, I'm sorry. Another really exciting game this week was Kyle and Andre. Kyle got the win 153-145. Dre really needed that big 27-point performance from Jonathan Taylor last night. He got 18, which the fumble on the goal line from Taylor and Matt Ryan on the exchange. I mean, if he gets that touchdown, he's right at that 27-point mark. So that was a tough way for Andre to lose. But even with the loss, he gets a win against the median with 145. And he's 13-11, but Lamar was better, 25 points here. He's been pretty inconsistent lately, but Diggs and Jefferson, I mean, as scary as your Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry combo is at running back, that's what Andre has at the wide receiver position with Diggs and Justin Jefferson. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, his team is good, very good. Obviously, the hole was the tight end. Njoku ended up being pretty well this week. I don't know if he's been consistent, but I think he picked up Everett off the wire because of you. And I think that might be very helpful to figure it out. Other than that, I like Dre's team. I like it a lot. Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones flash games where they can put up 30, 40.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've also flashed games where they put up 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So I like it a lot. Lamar, he's not been consistent, but he's still one of the best QBs in the league. He's good. I like Dre. I think Dre is going to be a tough team to face in the first round of the playoffs.
I don't see any way. Now, this has happened in the past where we had clear teams that looked like on paper they should be the best, and none of them ended up winning.
Sam Beverly.
Yeah, that's true. Sam, too. I was going to say 3 teams, but really it's 4, which now I feel silly saying this because that's like half the league. But those 4, I don't see any way anyone else can compete between. There's you, Andre, Sam, and Drew. Drew just has the main. We'll talk about Drew's matchup here, but he's got the advantage with Travis Kelce just being so much better than every other tight end. But
he's better than any fantasy player. I think he's like 5th overall fantasy wise. Never mind how
at a position that sucks for everybody else.
Yeah, at a position where you're hopeful that your tight end gets 100 on the season. I think Kelsey's already got 240 on the season.
He'd be like a top 5 wide receiver. Yeah. Before we move on, though, Kyle has won 5 straight games. He's been in last place. We basically thought we were talking like he was eliminated when I had him on the recap a couple of weeks ago. And 153 points. He's been on a tear lately. And this was with Pat Mahomes only getting 20. But, the old man Zeke getting 16. He's still putting up good numbers. He's doing the Todd Gurley thing when he was in Atlanta, and he sucked, but he was still getting touchdowns. So that's working for Kyle. Lockett had 15 for him. Nothing from Kittle, but Christian Watson has been unbelievable for the last 3 or 4 games too.
3 straight games of 21 plus. Watson's back. He's just becoming the Devontae Adams.
So I don't think he's back, but he is.
Well, all right,
he's here.
Well, other than the last 3 games, he shouldn't have been on a team.
Hey, he was a rookie, right? And he hadn't done anything for the whole season, and now the last 3 has been unbelievable.
My only worry with Kyle's team is that it might be too little, too late.
Yeah.
With Jake, I was hopeful that it wasn't too late and Jake's team would fall out of the playoffs and Kyle would get in. But now that we just figured out that Jake's clinched, it's just going to be tough. You're going to have to hope for a team like Chris, who has no right being up near the top, to fall out or something. It sucks. His team's got hot.
It sucks
tough.
to me that a team like the way Jake's looks right now, and also Chris, those two teams could get in, while two of me, Kyle, or even Sam, like one of the teams like that isn't getting in. It doesn't make any sense to me. But
you look on paper, you look at teams that, like, because the median wins and everything crazy wise, Hilsch's team on paper is trash. Jake's team on paper, trash. Chris teams, trash. But somehow they get wins and they fuck up these whole standings.
It would have been worse if we didn't have the median too. I do think the median has helped because at least like this week, Sam would have gone 0-1 this week. At least Sam, as the second highest scorer, got a win and stayed in sixth. I mean, so it's definitely helping, but still, as long as you have a matchup, there's always the possibility that you get screwed by the guy you're playing against. And to me, that's, it's part of the whole fun of it. Drew lost the league median this week with 140 points. He only went 1-1, which is insane. But he got the easy win over Bart and Zach, 140-109. And he moved to 17-7. He's in a great position to get a first round bye, not clinched yet. But in order for him not to get a first round bye, it would have to be both you, which you are likely to do that. But also Jake would have to overtake Drew here. So I really like Drew's chances of getting the first round bye. But he is in the playoffs. Miles Sanders has been unbelievable. He had 31 points for him. Eckler, 25. And, the worst game Travis Kelce's ever had all season, 15. So that's just the way it is for him. He's unbelievable and a ridiculous advantage at that position. And that's part of the reason Drew's in first place.
Wait, that was legit Kelce's second worst game this year at 15.7. That is unreal. But crazy. Eckler, and right here, you click on him, he is the number 10th overall player in fantasy. There is QBs and stuff. He's number 10. And then you add in the number 1 running back in Eckler. Drew's team is it's scary. He's got number 1s in categories.
Is Eckler really still the number 1 running back over Josh Jacobs after he just got 48 points?
Yeah, I think Josh Jacobs. I don't think Josh Jacobs was really high. I think
he was top 5
4 or something. But yeah, I think he's 4. But like, Eckler's been consistently hot.
Eckler's been like every single week putting just a 20 plus. I mean, the last 2 weeks have been his worst 2 at 13 and 18. So no, Eckler's been phenomenal for doing.
And then even wide receiver wise, he's got a Tyreek. It's just his team is good. He's got a big 3 in Eck, Kelce, and Hill, and you don't see it slowing down. Unless they come into even Eckler. It was a tough game for them. He got 11 receptions.
He's a wide receiver.
Targets.
Like Drew gets to play a wide receiver at his running back position. Austin Eckler had 5 carries for 20 yards and no rushing touchdowns and got 25 fantasy points.
He got 11 damn catches. Like my running backs,
15 targets.
As scary as my running backs, I think they are. If the run game was tough, I'd end up getting 5 points. Yeah, they're like, oh, Eckler, go in the slot. You're 5'9" looking ass. Go. Like, it's unreal. His team finds way to get the ball, and it's great. It's how they are.
That yards per catch is nothing too. He had 11 catches for 60 yards. But
doesn't matter. They feed him. He has guys that just they get the ball, and it's just something you need. And he doesn't need a fucking bench. Look at his team. His bench is just guys that are out.
It's what he did. It's what he did when he won the league 2 years ago. He didn't have anybody on. He had 3 Bears running backs on his bench when he won the whole thing. It didn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He could just set this lineup for the rest of the year, not even looking.
That's what he's doing.
And might end up winning it. He might end up winning it. It's unreal.
Yeah, good team, Drew, and happy birthday. Bart, is in a tough position now, ninth place, 9-15, still in it, still, but just not much here. DeAndre Swift's been super disappointing for him. Thanks after, that was your trade, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dumped off Swift. He's done nothing for them. Keenan Allen's back, so that's good for them with 15. T. Higgins had 24, but nothing else really to speak. I mean, Pittman had 19. Nothing else really to speak of. 109 points wasn't getting it done. Not this week. Not against Drew. So big matchup next week. We'll talk about the ones coming up. And I'm playing against Bart and Zach, so that one's going to be huge. But they're definitely struggling right now, ninth place, but not out of it. And this matchup doesn't deserve any recognition at all. I don't want to talk about this for more than 20 seconds. Chris won 113-99 over Hilshi. Chris is playing the worst teams every week. He is 12-12, but I think I have over 100 more points than him, something like that. And it is just ridiculous. I don't know how he's doing this. I have 120 more points than Chris.
I would look at the standings. Look at him at 5 and Sam at 6. Sam has over 300 more points against and almost 300 more points for.
Chris's points for and against is 1371 to 1349. Sam's points for and against is 1609 and 1670. It's they're not playing the same scoring form.
It's like Sam's like, okay, I need to go out and play the best team this week, and Chris is like, let me squeak by playing Ryan Hilshi every week. Like it doesn't make sense.
How about Drew with 1638 for and 1567 against? Well, it's like Chris is playing standard while everybody else is playing PPR or something. It's insane.
And then wait, just go down looking at Hilshi's now, 1365 and then 1399. If
but at least he's in last.
Yeah, but he's playing the worst team every week.
And he's in last.
Yeah. You don't see that right here. Sam's top. Freaking Kyle's 17-15 points against. That screams every week you were getting slapped around.
Crazy.
You have to beat the median or you're gonna get L's. And Chris, he doesn't have to beat the median because he's playing teams that didn't he have a stretch where the best player was on a bye?
Yeah, every team he played me when McCaffrey was on bye and beat me. He played I think he played Drew when Eckler and Kelsey were on bye. It's been nuts. So he's still got a shot here, but I mean, he's in 5th place. He's in the playoffs, and even Hilshi's still around. But you're saying Hilshi's eliminated. So,
Hilshi's eliminated.
Yeah. But Chris, 2 very valuable players, Alvin Kamara and DeAndre Hopkins. So, I mean, if anyone is in a dynasty type league where you maybe want to trade for someone like that, one of those 2 guys, maybe you can give up some 1st round picks or something. Those 2 guys are great. Great job, Chris. Kamara and Hopkins are great. Also, thanks for putting the recap up for us. Sorry we shit all over your team.
Wait, did he not start Hopkins? Oh no, he did. Okay, I was just for some reason it wasn't showing it for a second.
Yeah, Hopkins had 18. He had a good game. He's been solid for him, but
all right, good.
So going into week 13, we got 2 weeks left, and it's going to be me going up against Bart and Zach. Big game for the playoffs. You're in 2nd, going up against Kyle, the 2 hottest teams in the league right now, even though they're in 2nd and 8th place. But you've won 7 straight games. Kyle's won 5 straight, so. That'll be an exciting high-scoring matchup, I think. Chris going up against Andre. So if Andre shits the bed now, I don't even know what's going. I don't even know what to tell you. If he can't, it's just the way it's gone for Chris. Andre will probably score 90 points somehow, but I don't think that's possible. Sam in 6th place going up against Hilshi. Sam will win by 100. And then the matchup of the week, we've got Jake at number 3 going up against Drew at number 1. And that's going to be basically a deciding factor in the first round. I mean, if Jake can find a way to beat this.
That's your matchup of the week?
It's the number 1 versus number 3 team. Of course it is.
No, that shouldn't be the matchup of the week at all.
Well, I'd give you the matchup of the week, but Kyle's in 8th place. So it's kind of tough. And, I mean, you're definitely favored.
Jake could theoretically sit his players. He's clinched. Kyle needs to go through a decent team and Kyle needs to go through a decent team
They
to make
don't actually
playoffs.
get to rest if you don't play them.
You know what? It'd be good. I'll call up Nick Chubb and Derek Henry.
Hey,
Hey guys,
last
take it
year
off.
I had a first round bye last year, and Chris Godwin tore his ACL during my bye. So
See, that's why we need to give him a call and be like, hey, take it off. Play
Travis
us.
Kelce put up 40 points last year on my bye. But yeah, so yeah, that's a first and the third place team. If Jake wants any chance of getting the first round bye, he's got to beat Drew. Drew's in a good position to clinch it. So yeah, that's what we got for next week. So thanks for joining me. Very exciting week, and a lot of exciting matchups coming up in the next 2 weeks. So good luck against Kyle.
Hey, did the trade deadline end?
No, it is week 4, so we can trade all the way up until the playoffs. So week 14 would be the trade deadline.
Phenomenal.
So
Some people need to make some moves. All right. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Thanks for coming. See you later.
Bye.